I'd like to bring someone that we met online. I never saw her live, and she was the favorite of the night. And I asked her what her event would be, and she said Adam and Eve. She'd smack the apple out of Eve's hand so she doesn't bite it, and that women would have a better rep. So everything would be different what came after that. So please welcome Izzy. Her story's called Hitchhiking Hope. Live.
Separation anxiety from my two best friends because we had done everything together for the past 10 years. So, we talked about, well, how are we going to exist and have our famous trio with multiple time zones and an ocean between us? And, we couldn't answer that yet because I hadn't left. But what we decided ultimately was, well, we're not going to be sad because it doesn't look good on us. And we're just going to go on one final big road trip before we all go down separate paths. And Canada's a big country, and we were around Toronto area, and we wanted to drive all the way out west to Vancouver Island. That was our goal. That was our vision. We wanted to camp on the beach, and we wanted to skinny dip in the Pacific Ocean. That was it. I mean, how we got there, I don't know, but that was our goal, and nothing was going to stop us. So we get a car, we fill it up with snacks mainly, and some good tunes, and we start driving down the Trans-Canada Highway, which is beautiful. You swerve around lakes and rivers and wildlife, and it's really just magical. It's just stupidly Canadian, and the whole time we're screaming Alanis Morissette's 1996 hit "Ironic," which I won't sing for you, but maybe you can, I'm sure. Which is arguably probably the most Canadian thing that you'll hear tonight, Alanis Morissette on the Trans-Canada Highway. But we're really having the time of our lives, and it's day 8, so we're tired at this point. We've been sleeping on the road and in the car. But we got up so early and so excited because this was the last leg of the trip before we were going to get to the West Coast. And all we had to do was cross the Rocky Mountains. So simple, right? Just go up the mountain, down the mountain, straight shot to Vancouver. We're like, yeah, easy. I mean, we've just been driving the entire country, so what is a mountain? So, we get in the car, we're really excited, we're putting on our tunes, and we start driving. So what we didn't see, because all of this excitement that we had, I guess it made us miss what I assume was a massive highway sign that said no exit or service stations for 250 kilometers. So we're talking about bearing witness. We didn't. So, we're driving down, and honestly, the Rocky Mountains, it's just absolutely amazing. So we're driving down, it's about 150 kilometers in, and we're watching the gas meter, go down. We're like, okay, now it's time. Now it's time, we're gonna go get some gas. So, and like any good millennial, just get on your phone, Google Maps. Also, we don't have reception. So the sign also conveniently forgot to say that there's no reception, and there wasn't any for the rest of that trip. So about 50 kilometers later, we're like, ooh, this car is making weird sounds now. And at this point, we're going down the mountain. So all of us with our incredible automotive knowledge, we thought we're just going to put the car into neutral, and we're just going to roll down until we stop. And we turned off our tunes, we turned off our Alanis Morissette, and miraculously, I don't know who was there for us or what positive karma we had, but we saw the exit, the first exit in 250 kilometers, and we were able to make it, and then we pulled onto the shoulder. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with British Columbia, but the first exit after that highway is called Hope, British Columbia. And the gravel where our car ultimately died was right in front of the sign going the opposite way that said no exit and no service stations for 250 kilometers. And we're like, oh, okay. So we still don't have reception. We're on some semi-abandoned highway with 3 girls, probably ate all of our snacks at this point, and we start freaking out, you know? We're running around like baby gazelles. We're trying to get reception, like as if that was going to work. And then we decide, okay, we need to come up with a concrete plan. We're going to hitchhike, and one person's going to stay with the car and 2 people are going to go. And I was part of the hitchhiking crew. So, friendly face. And so we were on the highway with our thumbs out for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. And we're thinking, okay, this is getting a little sketchy. And no one's stopping, and there was really only 4 or 5 cars. So we thought our chances are quite slim. And then all of a sudden, a white van starts trucking down the highway. And it's a white van with tinted windows and rust stains. And lo and behold, it stops right in front of us. And so we're standing there, and the driver rolls down his window. And he's in his 70s, I would say. He's got a long gray ponytail, a thick mustache, a trucker cap, and dark sunglasses. And so I don't know if your mom ever told you not to get into the car with strangers, but this is who she meant. He was the poster child of stranger danger. So he introduces himself. Obviously, we're looking at each other. And here's the other thing. He said, "Hi, my name is Ron. I see you girls have some trouble." And I'm like, "Yes, obviously. Unfortunately, I only have 1 seat next to me." And then we had to make a decision. So we're on the opposite side of the highway from my car friend. And we're like, "What do you want to go? Do you want to go?" And I don't know. I was the youngest, so I thought, sacrificial lamb, I'll go with Ron. And again, let me remind you, there's no reception, so they don't know. They have no way to get a hold of me. So anyways, I get in the car with Ron, and I'm like this, sitting like this. I'm kind of freaking out, I'm nervous. And he puts some music on, and then he starts talking, and he has the most soothing voice, and he starts asking me, you know, what happened. And I was like, yeah, well, we're the dumb Ontarians who didn't see the sign. And I was saying, you know, this day was so important to us. We were so exhausted, so tired, and we've been waiting for this day. And somehow we fucked it up. And somehow we were singing yesterday Alanis Morissette's Ironic, and then we just became it. And I'm really upset. And I started getting really emotional with Ron. And he was so sweet, and he then went. The drive to the gas station was 20 minutes, and he spent about 15 minutes just telling me stories of how stupid he was in his youth, and at one point his car exploded in the front when he left it for too long. I don't know, something to do with alcohol, but either way, he made me feel so much better about myself. And then I asked him, as we were, you know, getting to the gas station, I could see it. I asked him, you know, what he was doing on this abandoned highway, and he said that one of his close friends had passed away, and he was taking the long road home, and we kind of both stared off into the distance and agreed that life can be funny, but really short sometimes, and it's nice that you have these connections. I go get a jerry can of gas, fill it up, and I thought I was going to say bye to Ron because he's going to keep going in that direction. But instead he said, you know, I don't feel comfortable. with you, with all these strangers. I'm like, I don't think people think this seems comfortable either. It's like, I'm going to drive you all the way back to your friends. And I thought that's amazing because for all they know, I'm dead in a ditch right now. There's no way I can tell them I'm okay. And so he drives me back, and I watch my friends, and they're like, oh my God, the band's there, is she there? Is he going to come get us? I don't know. And I get in the car with Ron, and he waits for us. He's, waiting for us to put the gas in the car like we should have done 250 kilometers ago. And then, again, I think I'm going to say bye to him. And I said, Ron, it's been such a treat. And we drive together on the semi-abandoned highway, and we pull off to get the proper amount of gas. And then he pulls in to the gas station. I'm thinking, did I leave something in his car? And he comes up to us, and he comes up to my two best friends, and he says, so your friend Izzy, she's telling me how important this trip was to you, and that she's moving, and she doesn't know when she's going to see you again. And I just thought, you can either take the Trans-Canada Highway all the way to Vancouver, or we can take a 45-minute detour, and I can show you Hope, British Columbia, because this is where I grew up. And I was like, dude, we're late, so yeah, absolutely, take us. And so we spent the afternoon, and he was driving us around. He got us ice cream. He showed us the gorge and told us stories about the gold mine, not that he's from them, but he just knew them. And then, he would randomly stop along the street and talk about the tree species and the bird migration patterns. Don't ask me because I forget, but all I remember is I was watching all of this, and I was watching him with my two best friends, and I felt sad for a moment because I knew that I was leaving it all behind. And, we had to eventually say bye to, now we affectionately call him Uncle Ronnie. So I had to say bye to Uncle Ronnie. We exchanged Facebooks, but I knew I wasn't really going to see him again. And we get in the car, and we sat there for a little bit, me and my two best friends, and we had the same thought, which is, if we could get through this shit, we can get through time zones, right? And that was a really great reminder. And, I don't know what we would have done without Uncle Ronnie, honestly, but what I do know is that a seemingly horrible, terrible, scary incident turned out to be the best moment and the best memory of this adventure that we had. And I don't know if people know Alanis Morissette like I do. I clearly love her. Her song, Ironic, ends with, life has a funny way of sneaking up on you, and life has a funny way of helping you out. So thank you, Uncle Ronnie.
Just gotta listen in. Can you hear the wireless? Beaming frequencies, gonna beat the virus by shimmering our love around the world. Together we'll fight. We're gonna rise above, gonna beat the virus by beaming frequencies.